Do you like fantasy football and sports betting? Come join us here at the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, where hosts Matt, Shane, and Jason talk about fantasy players, lineups, and sports betting to help you compete and win championships. And of course, some extra cash. Let's jump right into the show.
Welcome back to the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast. It is your boy Parlay Shane, and it is great to be back. I am here with my two co-hosts, Mr. Matt. Matt, how you doing, my guy? We missed you.
Man. Yeah, I was out last week, but I'm back now. Got to leave first thing in the morning, so I was at least able to get in here and get the podcast in, so it's good to be back.
Another day, another dollar is what he says. Speaking of which, Matt, I do owe you $1 because you beat me in fantasy on some craziness.
I have no idea.
You know, it's wild when Malik Neighbors just doesn't get targets. Anyways, Jason, my guy, how are you?
Doing well. Went 4-2 in fantasy last week. Glad you can make time for us this week, Matt. It's good to see you.
Wow, the shots are coming out today.
Shots fired.
Jason, you went 4-2. Matt, how did you participate? What was your record? Was that your only win? That would make me sad.
No, I went 3-5, I think.
Okay.
3-5, I believe.
Okay. I went 4-1, which is why I'm pissed.
Oh,
you were the one that stopped me from a perfect week. So
hey, why don't you tell them real quick about what our total score was, because it is ugly. Do you remember it?
It was like 78
I think it was
81 or something. I think
it
was like 80. I think you broke 80, but our projected score was 120 a piece, and then we ended with 80 and 78. It was abysmal. We both had players that just didn't show up. Malik Neighbors with 2 points?
Yeah, it was gross. It was gross. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, Troy Franklin was on my team. I don't know why I did that. Anyways, hey guys, welcome to the let's just launch right into it. You know what? Let's just get right into it today. Let's do the cone of shame. And Matt, you're new here. So let's have you kick off the cone of shame for us, my guy. Who do you not want to play with anymore? Who is put in the cone of shame for you?
For me, it is Mr. Isaiah Pacheco. It sucks so bad because at the beginning of the year, all three of us were pretty high on Isaiah Pacheco, and we figured he was going to be the guy. He fully recovered from his injury. He was going to be the workhorse running back. And then what happened game one? There was one running back on first down, another running back on second down, another running back on third down. It is a three-headed timeshare, at least as of right now. I would just love to see Isaiah Pacheco get some more work because I think personally he clearly is the better running back of the three, at least with his determination and running style. I get why they play Kareem Hunt, but I just want to see Isaiah Pacheco succeed.
Yeah, these stats just ain't gonna cut it, Chief. He quite literally is playing almost less than 50% of the snaps.
Yeah,
it's pretty tough to look at. I'm not gonna lie. I definitely understand why he is not one that you want to continue to play. And I think there's a chance that he could be droppable at this point if you needed the roster spot. Jason, my guy, would you like to tell us who you do not want to play with anymore?
Oh yeah, this guy cost me a loss last week. It is Keon Coleman. You deserve the cone of shame. Dude, when you have 11 targets in the first game with 112 yards in the TD with 8 receptions, hell yeah. You're gonna be in the starting lineup, my guy. Then when you go 3 targets the next game, 4 targets the next game with a drop, it's like gross. Is it just me or is it you? I don't know. I don't like that offense, even though their offense is very they get the job done. But at the same time, I need to see them throw the ball more, and for that, Keon Coleman, you get the cone of shame, and you're out of the starting lineup this week, which he probably will go off, knowing my luck.
I do love that. Guys, I'm going to be honest. We did this all, and I forgot to write down mine. So can you guys refresh me on who my cone of shame was? Do you remember?
Ramondre.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the Mr. Two Fumbles. Ramondre Stevenson, my guy. How do you get gifted a role in a decently functioning offense, and then you take those two giant mitts and you just fumble it away? 3 fumbles in 2 weeks is implorable from an NFL running back. I am shocked that Vrabel hasn't taken your head and put it on a stick out front of like Gillette Stadium, because like that's the Viking type stuff I get from him. So I had such high hopes after the usage. And
you know what's funny, Shane? I had Travion Henderson last week.
You should feel really good about owning Travion Henderson right now, because Ramondre fumbled twice. He's fumbled 3 times in 2 games, and he also Antonio Gibson also fumbled. So Travion Henderson is the only running back in that entire stable that has not fumbled the football. I feel like if I have the ability to get Travion Henderson, I'm getting him right now, and I'm feeling really good about it. So, that wraps up our cone of shame / guys we no longer want to roster or play with anymore. The school of ants, as Zoolander would say. Listen, it is an easy one to get into here, because our next one is a long list of players, and I'm trying to find my button. Here we go.
It's time for news and notes.
Yeah, all right, guys. Here is your breaking news. Fantasy football. Can we turn the injuries off already? It's week 4, and I'm really tired of playing with injuries on. We last week we're like, hey, we don't have quarterbacks anymore. That's fine. There's a lot of them. This week, let's give a rundown, and we'll just do a quick moment of silence for the following: James Conner, Mike Evans, maybe Scary Terry, Tyrone Tracy, Najee Harris. I'm sorry, but you are the weakest link. Your time has come. You guys are all on the IR, most likely. CeeDee Lamb also may be joining them. Everybody is scrambling for players. We will address some of those players that you could look for the value here in a little bit to replace them, but you're not going to replace the production of some of those guys. It's just not possible.
Mm-mm.
And sometimes the best place to replace them is guys that are on their team that are going to take that role. So take that note and run with it. Speaking of replacements, Matt, this is the replacements issue. That is what we are calling this. This is replacements edition. Jackson Dart is the replacement of the week, guys. We get a Dart sighting. How exciting is that? Are we tuning in for the Giants now? Like, is this big news? Like, are we buying the Giants with Dart starting?
I am. I think it's going to be more exciting football. Russell Wilson, what the hell were you doing last week? You had 3 downs to just throw it to somebody. You threw it away 3 times. I think, to be honest with you, Shane and Jason, I think he's trying to play his way out of being considered for the Hall of Fame. I know at some point people were considering from the Hall of Fame, but he just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. No, I do think it's going to be exciting to watch Jackson Dart with that eye paint. Son, you better bring something. You better bring something to the table. But personally, Shane, I think it's going to take a week or 2 weeks maybe for him to get things going. I think personally, if you were a Malik Neighbors owner, I think you'd be more excited with Jameis Winston throwing the ball right now. But I am excited to see what Dart can do.
I will throw this caveat in there. I'm not the biggest fan of quarterback eye paint all the way down, just scattered. That kind of looks childish to me. I don't want my quarterback to be doing that. We didn't see good things with JJ. Dart, we'll see. Am I gonna tune in? Yes. But is that paint going to be splattered all over the place? Yes.
Bro, they're the Gen Z quarterbacks, my guy. Like that's the whole thing. Like, you look at it, JJ Baker started this whole thing, so you should blame Baker. Call up your buddy Baker, Jason, and tell him he's the one that started the obscene face paint. on quarterbacks because he was the guy that had just the giant face paint like a linebacker.
Yeah.
He took notes from your high school photos and he just slathered it on, and now they're doing signs and stuff. And yeah, I'm excited for Dart. I've been banging the drum for Dart, so hopefully he proves me right and doesn't prove me wrong. But
one quick thing, I don't know if he did that in the NFL though.
He did.
He doesn't
do it anymore.
No.
See, no, he doesn't wear face paint.
I thought it was the strip.
Here's the under eyes.
Oh, the strips are fine. It's like war paint.
What's the I'm blanking on the linebacker who did the entire side of his face.
Shoot, I can't remember either.
Not gonna pull it right now. We'll circle back if I ever think of it. Speaking of pulling it, Nick Bosa pulled it and is out for the season. So the Niners injuries just keep adding up. And speaking of Niners, Demarcus Robinson is back off of suspension, and joining him in the fresh out of jail crew is Jordan Addison. So shout out to those fantasy owners who stashed them, and if they are still available, they probably have some decent upside. Specifically Robinson, who that offense looks pretty up for grabs at this point. Kittle on IR. You got Juwan Jennings, who hasn't looked great. Pearsall's doing good, but I mean, they're trying to force feed CMC, and he's just barely surviving out there. So take a look at D-Rob possibly as a pretty nice ad. I think, Chris Godwin may also be coming back this week, and then we do not know the whereabouts of Scary Terry or Jaden Daniels, which is pretty spooky season for the Commanders to do to us. Is there anything I missed, fellas, that we need to discuss notable, aside from Atlanta firing their wide receiver coach after getting absolutely skunked 30-0?
And then they told Raheem Morris came out on his interview and said, and the offensive coordinator will be on the sidelines from here on out. And not up in the box.
Okay.
So
I hate that. I don't love it though. Like I feel like that should be, if you're gonna do that, like what weird punitive teacher thing is that?
I don't know.
I can't trust you to be up there. You need to come stand by me. Like, okay, school teacher recess. Chill out.
he would rather yell at him in person rather than over the microphone. That's what it sounds like.
Down here. No, that's pretty great. All right, so I'm going to give you guys a list of players right now that are available in a 12-team league, and you're going to tell me which one of these players excites you to add to your team based off of the recent injuries. Jalen Tolbert. Is this a buy? Is this okay, let's try this again. You can say 10% more or no go. Let's do that. 10% more or no go. Jalen Tolbert. Matt, you got first call.
No go.
Okay. More than 10. You're spending more than 10% of your fab on.
That's what.
Tolbert.
Fab. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought it was just. 10%. I would go 10%.
I think 10% for Jalen Tolbert is a pretty amicable point, but honestly, I kind of would like to go with.
Turpin.
I would maybe go with Turpin. He's just slightly more explosive, so I might say. It depends on how desperate I am, but I would probably say pass and then try to get Turpin, because I feel like Turpin has the higher chance to just break one off.
He did have 6 targets last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They tried to force feed him, and then he just didn't do. Tolbert just didn't do much with the 6 targets he received. Mm-hmm. 3 catches for 24 yards. 4 yards per target is yuck. Yeah. Okay, here's an easy one. Emery DeMercado. 10%? Pass or more?
10%. 10%. I'd feel comfortable with.
Jason?
Do I need it badly? Like, am I hurting with one of those guys that just got hurt? Am I in that position?
Yes. I mean, I
Yeah,
feel
then
like
10%.
if
Yeah,
you've missed
10%.
the injury bug at this point, like, give me whatever juju you have.
Yeah.
I have,
feel
and
like
I'm still
everybody-
losing.
I feel like everybody has an injury somewhere on most of their rosters. So I would say 10% on Emery. I think that he is going. I don't think Troy Benson can be a full-time back yet. I think he can be in the future, but I think that there's value in DeMercado going forward here.
I think he could be a third down back. I mean, I think he's proven it in the past.
Oh,
So
100%.
I think he'll be the third down back.
Yeah, I think that that's a massive possibility. I'm just a little worried that he will have to pass that off as the season continues. That's kind of more where I'm thinking is going to happen, is that you're not going to get the opportunity later on unless he truly performs. Because, I mean, even James Conner didn't really catch a lot of passes out of the backfield. They have Kyler. He typically just going to tuck that and run anyways. Sterling Shepard, 10% more or less?
More.
Jason?
I'm still going 10%. He's been in the offense this entire time. Gets a couple targets, couple big plays. I mean, I think Godwin will kind of take over the Mike Evans role, and Ibuka's still going to get his. But Sterling Shepard maybe get 3 to 5 targets a game. I wouldn't spend more than 10% on it.
The only reason why I say more, Shane, I'll go in real quick, is because even if Chris Godwin's back this week, they're going to ease him back in. He's not going to be in full game shape right away. I mean, of course, he's in shape, but they're going to ease him back in. Sterling Shepard and Baker Mayfield have that college connection. They have that rapport. And I do feel, at least for these first couple weeks, 1 to 2 weeks at least, Cade Otton is nowhere. I mean, he's nowhere to be found. Is he gonna pick up some targets? I don't know. But Sterling Shepard and Egbuka should see a fair amount of targets at least this week.
Yeah, I actually think that I would say more on Shepard. He has played 64, 75, and 61% of the snaps, and that was with a healthy Mike Evans and Chris Godwin missing. I think that Godwin comes in and may replace some of that slot work, but I also think that Godwin is a guy they trust to play the outside, and I mean, they played Egbuka on the outside, and he's looked fantastic. So why change a good thing there and let Shep and Godwin run those intermediate routes that they absolutely destroy at?
Yeah.
I think that he can eat. I think that all three can eat in this offense. Baker's shown that he can definitely provide enough value for 3 wide receiver weapons. I do think that Cade Otton, he's got to show up sooner. He's just absolutely unrosterable at this point.
Yes.
All right, I think that is about the only notable ones that I have left. So
let me throw one in for you, Shane, real quick. Trey Tucker. Are you buying the hype? He's getting a lot of targets, but are you chasing those points that he put up last week? Obviously, I don't know if he's going to put up that many points again, but what would you do on Fab on him?
Look, I made the mistake of chasing points with Troy Franklin this past week.
You got that bad bug.
I'm going to say wait and see. So I'm going to bid 10% because he put up 12 points and he put up 38 points. Well, that's 2 weeks where he's shown me that he can produce to a point where he's, an actual playable, rosterable player.
Yeah.
However, he also put up an absolute dud of 3.4 points in the game that he had the second most targets in. So, and also that means I have to trust Geno Smith and the Raiders offense to produce. I don't know if I'm consistently willing to do that, but, I'd be willing to roster him and see what happens. Jay?
That's gross. Honestly, it's like if I had to pick up Trey Tucker, I already know what's going to happen with that. He's going to get maybe 3 targets a game after that. and you hope for a long ball. He kind of reminds me of a Jaden Reed type, to where it's like you kind of hope he has a big play.
Well, they
He
came.
did
They
this
were
last
in
year
the
too.
yeah, and they were in him. That's a perfect comp,
Yeah, but
Jay, because they were in
yeah,
the combine together. They came out together.
yeah. I mean, if I was desperate, I would do more.
Yeah, I would agree with that, but I'm
Mhm,
on Shane's side too. If I'm
mhm,
gonna take a chance on someone like that, or because he's gonna see targets, right? But
mhm.
he's not the first read. Brock Bowers has been banged up, right? Brock
Mhm.
Bowers, when he gets fully healthy, he's number one. Jacoby Myers is number two. Trey Tucker's number three. I mean, that's just the way it's gonna be.
Ashton
Mayer
Jeanty is
also got
way
Mayer
down
also
there
got
too.
dinged.
Yeah. So, like, if I weren't bidding anything, I'd be interested to see let somebody else chase those points and then see who they drop
Yeah.
for a guy like that, because they could drop a handcuff player that I might want.
I mean, yeah, last season he had one game where he scored 19 points. And funny enough, it was week 3. That's wild. Is he a week 3 king?
He might be a week 3 king.
Is he a week 3 king? He had 19 points, 9 targets, 7 catches, 9 targets, 8 catches this past year. Yeah, that's funny. That's a cyclical thing. I think that he's worth a roster spot, but I'm not like rushing out to break the bank for him.
Right.
All right. So, guys, it is time for the rundown. And I promise I'll get a cool video for the rundown next time. Don't have one currently. So, sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Let's start on Thursday night. We have the Seahawks versus the Cardinals. The Cardinals are without James Conner. Trey Benson is now the guy. What other notable things we got going on, Matt? What do you think?
Where in God's green earth is MHJ?
Can't catch the football.
Where is this
He's already in
high
Cancun.
valued second round target that we freaking drafted in fantasy football? Supposed to be this big guy. He has not taken that step forward. Like Jason said, he's dropping balls. Now, I do know that the one, whether it was in the sun and then it came into the shade and they threw the flag on the, it would have been a touchdown. Was the sun in his face? I don't know. But you're supposed to be this elite athlete and you don't look like an elite athlete on the field. Like, I don't know if anybody on this roster currently you can start in your fantasy lineups except for Trey McBride. I mean,
That
Trey
wasn't
Benson.
even
Trey Benson,
the
sorry. And Trey Benson, sorry.
that wasn't even the bad one. The one that Fred
Mhm.
Warner had to put his head down and shake in disbelief. That one that went right through your hands, where every single one of us and probably your daughter Matt could have caught.
Yeah,
To where it's like, oh my gosh, dude.
it was bad.
So wide open that no one. Yeah, it was like 5 yards of separation between him and the next guy, which is just unexcusable. The Seahawks look like they may be the real deal, and they may have found their future wide receiver 1 in Torrey Horton.
Old Tory, baby.
Yeah, man, coming out of Colorado State and just balling on him. He took a week to acclimate, and then now he's put up 10 and 16. So, are we buying the hype of Torrey Horton and the Seahawks? And is there anybody else notable that you want to add or target?
Well, I think you can buy the hype. I don't know that I'm ready to officially, like, if you go on waivers and he's on your waiver wire, he's perfectly, like, I would obviously pick him up. I don't know if I'd start him right away. I want to see a few weeks of it, but he is integrating into the offense. Zach Charbonnet should be back this week. How's that going to look up again with those two guys going? The thing that kind of scares me a little bit, Shane, I don't know if you have it or you have the capability of pulling it up right in front of you, but Sam Darnold he's a good quarterback, but he only threw the ball 18 times last week, and they absolutely obliterated the Saints. Now again, it's the Saints. Does that worry you a little bit with a guy like Horton, with Sam Darnold only throwing it? I don't even know what he did week 1, week 2, but I don't think he's thrown the ball a ton this year.
He had 33 attempts in week 2 against the Steelers. So
Okay.
it's there. Week 1, I don't exactly know what happened, but it wasn't good. He only had, in this league, he only had 3 fantasy points. Why is that? Not quite sure what was going on there. Maybe it was the fumble lost. I don't know.
I think the Seahawks are a good team, and I think they're going to continue to be a good team. But does that him not throwing the ball a lot? Does that worry you to?
The volume does, especially because he's the deep threat guy. Although they did use him a lot more in different route trees, I think JSN's your best bet. If you're, obviously, he's an absolute alpha. He's proven that he's that guy. So he's the true wide receiver one. I was more being tongue in cheek when I called Horton the one. But I do think that Horton may officially take over the Cup role by the end of the season if Cup doesn't prove that he truly still has it, because we haven't seen it consistently from Coop. Not that I'm saying he's washed. It's just we haven't seen it consistently. So I would be hesitant to, like, I don't know, stamp that. All right, next game. Jason, I'm letting you make this one because it's Matt's team. So we're not going to let him run away with this. We got Vikings at Steelers in Dublin. What of the Vikings players do you think you can start? Because I think the list is really short.
Oh, very short. I mean, it's JJ. You're hoping for Jordan Addison. The Hawk.
Hold on, you have to clarify. He's talking about Jettas, not JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Sorry. I was like,
I knew it. I knew
to?
it. When as soon as you said it, I was like, I know he's talking about JJ
Jettas.
McCarthy.
I have to say Jay Jettas now. Yeah, and that's on me. Yeah, Addison Jettas. Hawkinson is kind of iffy, but I mean, you drafted him kind of high, so you kind of have to roll with them. Steelers, that's where it gets gross. Warren, it hurts. I don't know if I want to do that. DK has been reliable, but it sucks that he's only getting 3 to 4 catches a game, but he has been getting in the end zone. So that's really all you can start, really.
Yeah, I think that's about the entire list for me. Addison is coming back. I don't think I'm starting him off the rip, though. I think would you guys just roll Jordan Addison out? Even though the Steelers' pass defense is truly abysmal at times. Matt, you're laughing at that statement.
No, because you're 100% right. Like, they did everything they could to create this all-star defense, and they're just not playing up to the potential. You still wait to see when it happens, but yeah, right now they're not playing well, so you kind of have to start the players that you need to start. I mean, do you think Carson Wentz is a streaming quarterback this week?
With all the other injuries, probably. Am I starting him? Hold on. Am I starting him or Aaron Rodgers? Because I feel like that's like the level of player that you're looking at and being like, you're starting him over Tyrod Taylor. You're starting him over, Tyrod probably is not even going to play this week. Are you starting him over Trevor Lawrence? I think that's like the bottom of the barrel, like guy you might have drafted or someone might have drafted. And
I am starting him over Trevor Lawrence.
I think so too. I think he's viable to stream, and I think that's probably the best thing you could ask for at this point.
Yeah,
gross though.
Yeah, it's pretty
so gross.
And then the Steelers, Matt, what is going on with the Steelers? You have Kenneth Gainwell becoming your running back one because Jaylen Warren gets a contract and loses his competition and forgets how to run the football. Mm-hmm. And then you have DK Metcalf, who gets like 3 targets the entire game, and then Jonnu Smith, who like does weird stuff occasionally and then disappears.
So, to be honest, this week I don't love it because Minnesota's defense is fire. But if you have DK Metcalf and you have no other option, you just hope he gets into the end zone. Jaylen Warren, I would start him just because of what he's done, how much work he is getting. And that's probably about it. I know Calvin Austin's been coming on of late. It might be a guy that I would
Calvin Austin.
Maybe sneakily add off the waivers, but I definitely wouldn't start him this week.
Yeah, that was a good call out. Calvin Austin, I think, has some serious value, and I think Rodgers is truly trusting him. He, weirdly enough, he reminds me of like Randall Cobb.
Yeah,
like as far as like the routes that he runs, the style with which he plays, he's not afraid of contact. He doesn't necessarily seek it out, but he's definitely not afraid to like go fight for it. So yeah, that's a good call out. I think that he's a really good stash at this point, but I don't know if I'm playing him against the Vikings.
Mm-mm.
Eagles, Buccaneers in Tampa in the heat. Do the Eagles wither as they are both 3-0 in this matchup? Matt, you backed the Eagles last week. you are thinking about backing the Buccaneers this week. What is going on in your brain? Are you starting AJ Brown? Is this all a farce?
After last week's performance from AJ Brown, I think people are going to start him. It's
And be disappointed, or
I don't know. Like I think he's just the caliber of player that you kind of have to throw in your starting lineup. Where you drafted him, you have to throw him in your starting lineup. But Shane and I were texting throughout this game, and Jason was in our group text. And when are they ever going to not allow a false start on this tush push? I know Shane was getting pretty frustrated with it, and I didn't really notice it until Shane called it out, and I'm like, holy crap, it is happening every single time.
not only is it a false start, but the illegal formation on top of it.
Yeah.
And this is coming from someone who watches Juwan Taylor false start often, so I'm very familiar with the mechanics of where he has to line up and watching the Eagles do it they did it most of last season too and got away with it. It wasn't as egregious. There's been some changes on the interior, and it's not a legal play right now. Like that's like 80% of them are not legal plays, which is crazy that the NFL's not throwing a flag. Speaking of, hold on, backtrack. The Saints tried to run the tush push, and they got a flag.
It's because they're the Saints and they're not the Super Bowl winning Eagles.
Which was hysterical. Like it was the same play, and then they got a flag, and I was like, "No way that this just happened." And I just watched them false start against the Rams and get a first down, and then get a touchdown.
Yeah, I think this game's fairly easy though. I think you know who you're starting with the Eagles. The Buccaneer side, I think Sterling Shepard is a fine flex this week. I think you can start him and roll him out. Chris Godwin, if he's back, I don't know that I'd roll him out right away. I want to see what he kind of looks like the first week or so. But Egbuka's been tearing it up, and you're obviously starting him now. Bucky Irving, same thing. But you kind of know who you're starting on this game.
Jason, you got anything else?
Agreed. Yeah, no, I think you know who you're firing up. You're firing up majority of the weapons in this game. Villa might have a field day stopping the tush push, especially if they do decide to call it. That's my only point right there. But the Bucs run defense is kind of slept on, so Jalen Hurts might be able to throw the football around. That's what we're hoping for as AJ Brown owners. But yeah, you're firing up everybody.
The Buccaneers signed this Desmond Watson, the 449-pound defensive tackle ahead of the Eagles.
From Florida?
Yep. So they are going to feature Vita Vea, who is already one of the largest human beings in football. And they're putting this
for the tush push, baby.
legit to stop the 449 pounds of mass.
Why
They're
not?
like, hey, Jalen, bench press or like squat this, boy.
There's your maximum, baby.
Honestly, chef's kiss. Well done, Tampa, leaning into the meme of the fact that the tush push is an illegal play. Anyways, Bills Saints, I don't think we need to discuss this at all. Aside from Alvin Kamara, probably should be played no matter what. And
Are you starting Olave?
They're gonna have to put up points, and the Bills' defense isn't inspiring. So I think you can start everybody, and they're probably gonna be playing from behind. I think you can start anybody you want to from either team. If you want to start Rashid Shaheed, you can flex him. I think Olave goes for the same thing. Jawan Johnson, who has shown that he is a true alpha in tight end land, because it's such a barren landscape that being able to put up back-to-back weeks of 10 points is an alpha. Matt, you got anything else?
Are you firing up Keon or Shakir if you had to pick one?
Shakir.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah, Shakir's been the guy that Josh Allen seems to trust.
Week one was just a fluke.
Yes.
Thank you for giving me hope.
I do think Keon, though, is maybe the better talent.
I agree with that.
Panthers Patriots. You're starting. I will say the one thing I will say: Christian Gonzalez may be coming back for the Patriots. He was up to a game time decision last week and then was not able to go. If he plays, I am worried about starting Tet because he is one of the best alpha cornerback lockdown defenders in football. He will bully Tet. in a way that Tet has not experienced in the NFL.
Chuba's the only guy I'm starting on that team, I think, this week.
I think I agree with you 100%, Shane, but I think you can start Tet just because you know that Jatavian Sanders is out, Jalen Coker's not back yet, Hunter Renfro's there, so he'd be a slot guy. But Tet's gonna get targets.
Yeah.
You just hope. Go ahead. No, you're good, Jay.
No,
you're good.
I think in a redraft league, yes, you have to start him. In Dynasty, I don't think I would, just because I think I have better options on my team. But in redraft, for the value you have, you're starting him. You're firing him up.
Yeah, that's possible, 100%.
Yeah, I think in both settings, you could probably flex him and at least feel comfortable. Knowing that you have a stable floor, and hopefully Gonzalez doesn't chase him around the field. That's what you're hoping. You're hoping Gonzalez maybe stays on one side, because the Patriots are known to do that. They're known to lock a cornerback to left cornerback, right cornerback, and Tech could just maybe not line up on the right. Gonzalez.
Real quick, are you buying the volume that Hunter Henry's been getting? Do you feel comfortable starting him?
I think if you are asking yourself if you need to start Hunter Henry, you should probably start Hunter Henry.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's like the most honest way to approach tight ends at this point is if like I'm looking at a guy and he's putting up points enough for me to be like, do I want to play him?
Yeah,
he's probably worth playing at this point because tight ends it's a barren. You've already had so many. You've had injuries and you've had guys just not produce. Like, speaking of tight ends not producing, our next game, the Atlanta Falcons and the Washington Commanders. Kyle Pitts resurgence, and the Falcons apparently can't target their wide receivers, and they also get down and decide that they don't want to give the ball to Bijan Robinson. And then you have the Commanders backed by Marcus Mariota, who put on an absolute classic of a game last week. Who are you firing up? Are you afraid of anybody? What is your take on the Commanders' backfield? Jason, go.
It's gross because I saw in a couple things that that read option that they played was Rodriguez even supposed to get the football right there?
Yes,
he was. Okay, I saw a couple things that play was just ran wrong, whatnot. I don't know if I'm gonna fire up any of the running backs in Washington. I'm hesitant too. It's one of those things. It's gross without Jaden.
that and the Falcons defense actually is pretty good. They actually won the matchup last week, statistically speaking. You just can't win a game in which you miss 2 field goals and you throw a pick 6 and you throw a pick that was returned 59 yards. Like, you're not going to win that kind of game. I don't care who you are as an NFL team. And then they just let it snowball. Like, they were in that game and they just decided not to be in it. So I, as far as the backfield goes, though, Jason, I don't know who I would start. I would start JCM if I have him. I think that would be my one take. Matt, you got anything else?
Nope. I would just keep my eyes on Jaden Daniels' health and Terry McLaurin's health. I to be honest though, I'm not scared to start Mariota if he's a quarterback. I would stream if Jaden Daniels does not play because he's going to run.
Yeah, and the Falcons do have a really high pressure rate actually this year. Ruka Rogero, I think I said that right. Hopefully I said that right. Has been a really, really big surprise. He kind of did nothing last year, and then this year has shown up and made it a big way. Next game is one of our higher point totals was kind of expected to be one of the higher point totals of the week. The Browns versus Lions, and it has kind of tanked as far as totals go. Jason, what do you got on this?
Quinton Jenkins is a start, I guess.
Yes.
Big time.
Yeah. I mean, I've had him on my bench a couple of weeks in a row, just thinking, oh, they're going to ease him back into things. They have not eased him back in. They're like, hey, you're the bell cow. Let's go. Njoku's production does still scare me because we were high on him all offseason. Judy is non-existent in that offense. I think Cedric Tillman's the only guy that you could even trust at the receiver position. Yeah, I mean, it sucks. I think Judy had 1 reception last week for less than 20 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
He's on this team. Hold on one moment. Let me tell you exactly his stats, Jason, because I had to watch him throw up a fat goose egg.
Yeah.
1 catch on 15 targets for 17 yards
15,
in a game that
15
was
targets.
a wet noodle slap fest.
15, he had 15 targets.
No, he had 5 targets. He
Oh, I
had
thought you said
17
15.
yards.
Yeah, no, gross. Hey, Lions are firing up, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
and
yeah.
if you went up against Montgomery and Gibbs yesterday and you had a lead, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Or
I
on
will say the
Monday.
Browns
Mhm.
defense does scare me a lot. They're
Yeah. Browns defense
legitimately
is
the
good.
best defense in football,
Yeah.
statistically speaking. I'm not benching my Lions players, but I'm definitely tuning down my expectations.
Mhm.
They're not going
Yeah.
to win me my week this week. Most
Miles
likely
Garrett is
speaking.
still a dude.
Not only that,
Mhm.
just the rest of that defensive line, just
Mhm.
they're home wreckers, man. No wonder they want Quinshon Judkins going ahead and running the football for him. Sorry, that was a low shot. My bad, Judkins. Titans, Texans. Speaking of home wreckers, Deshaun Watson's still on the bench, but they may pivot with CJ Stroud playing the way he is. And they cut CJ Gardner-Johnson. Man, you got a whole lot of news going on in Texansville, Jason. But I'm going to let Matt take this one away. Who are you starting on either the Texans or the Titans, Matt?
Nobody.
The guys I have to.
I mean, you got to start Nico. You have to start Nico. Other than that, I don't like the Texans. I don't like the Texans backfield.
Oh.
You know,
hold on. I like Woody Marks.
no, I mean, no, I'm not saying I don't like him. I just don't like anybody this week.
Yeah,
I just because you just don't know what it's going to look like. Now, I will say the Texans desperately needed, as far as we can tell, because Jaden Higgins is not the guy, I guess, but Christian Kirk came back last week. He is a guy that I think is going to get volume, but it's not someone I'm excited to start unless you are in a deep league or you are just really hurting at wide receivers. On the Titans side, Calvin Ridley, he's become non-existent, but Alec Iomanner, that is a dude. That guy has built a rapport with Cam Ward. He sees tons of volume. So I would actually feel okay starting him up. And then Tony Pollard, Texans have a really good defense. Tajay Spears should be coming back sometime within the next couple weeks, I think. But Tony Pollard is getting a lot of volume too. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it for me.
Yeah, I wonder who was flexing Iomanner. I don't remember who that was. Anyways, the Texans, I think their biggest issue is their offensive line.
It's
consistently graded as the worst unit in football, which is abysmal. They've scored 39 points this year through 3 games. Jason, what do you have to say for your Texans?
Oh, it's the scheme. It's the offensive line. Or we have a first-year play caller who does the same shit that we did last year, but worse. Which I can't even comprehend how you could be worse. I wish we would have kept. His name slips. I don't even know his name because it was so bad. But yeah, no. When you get a first-year play caller with a bad offensive line, this is what happens. I wouldn't start a wide receiver 2 on our offense till at least week 7 or 8 if they even do find it.
Yeah, Nick Caley is your current one. I'm trying to quick search to find your former. I can't think of it off the top of my head either.
Yeah, I forget.
Yeah, yours' game total went from 44 to 38. So that is puke city.
Defense might score more points than the offense next week.
The only sub 40 total for the entire week. Chargers Giants is the last of the noon slate. We get Jackson Dart. We have the Omari and Hampton welcome your backfield is yours show, I guess. What are we feeling? Is this a resurgence of what we have seen from flashes in the Giants? Do the Chargers just stomp the ever-living crap out of them? Does it go over? Matt,
I really don't think that this is going to be a competitive game, at least for this week. I do want to see what Jackson Dart brings to the table. Cam Scatterbo, Tyron Tracy's injured. Cam Scatterbo is a dog. I want to see that rapport between Jackson Dart and Malik Neighbors. You're obviously starting Malik Neighbors. I'm fine with starting Cam Scatterbo up as well, but the Chargers have a good defense, a sneaky good defense. Even without Khalil Mack, they played pretty well. And As far as the Chargers side, I'm starting everybody. Quentin Johnson's a guy I can put in my lineup now every single week.
Indeed he is. I will say there are some serious injury questions with the Chargers. Khalil Mack is on IR. Denzel Perryman is on IR. You also have Mekhi Becton in concussion protocol. They just lost Najee, Will Dissly, Cam Hart, and Elijah Molden. So two of their Molden and Hart are two of their cornerbacks are both questionable to play this week. And they already lost Eric Rodgers, and they already lost Deontay Leonard, and they already lost Olakund on their cornerback. So they are looking at Derwin as their only available cornerback. So it's an interesting situation to be in if you're the Los Angeles Chargers, looking at the 8th guy on your depth chart to cover Malik Neighbors, possibly.
Yeah, I think
I can see some interesting stuff. I think this is a game where the Giants could maybe surprise us, especially with the new look quarterback.
They very well could. This could be a trap game for the Chargers, but
and Diane Henley is also nursing a pulled hammy. Forgot to add that one. Who's their middle linebacker? So they have no one up the middle. They have no cornerbacks. Cam Scatterbo is going to be out there trying to give concussions to people.
Yeah. I'm fine with starting up a lot of the assets here.
Jason, you got anything else to add?
Dart is gonna be making some crazy decisions throwing the football. It's good if you're a Neighbors owner, but I'd rather them start Jameis Winston over Dart. But this is for Dable to keep his job, so that's just me. But yeah,
he's an iPad kid. He's been staring at an iPad for 3 weeks on the sideline. Jason, he's fine. He's got enough Roblox game hours that he can for sure sling in the NFL.
Yeah. But I do think the Giants' defensive line will get after Herbert in this game. We saw what they did last week to the the Chiefs. And I think it's either going to be really close or it's going to be a blowout, though in between. Giants aren't going to win this game, though.
I'll let you pass on calling the Chiefs the Patriots.
Yeah,
from one dynasty to another, we accept that one. The Jaguars and the 49ers is the first of the 3:05 games, the afternoon slate. This was going to be an exciting game and is now one that you're putting on the corner television. That's my interpretation of this game. You're starting the guys you're forced to start for both teams.
Agreed.
Pearsall is an ultimate start right now. CMC, they're the only guys with heartbeats on that roster. And the Jaguars.
ETN the start.
Yeah, Tootin's maybe a flex if you want to.
Are you starting BTJ?
You have to. You drafted him in the second round. If you don't have a good...
It's sunk cost. Yeah, it's sunk cost. You're not benching him because if he figures it out, you're going to feel like an absolute tool bag.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to start him.
Unless you happen to get lucky and have the sheer willpower that you also happen to stumble upon Pearsall and a whole bunch of other guys later on. If you have the grace of having the ability to bench him, sure. But most people aren't in that situation. So
alligator arms now. So
doesn't want to take a hit, and he also hates his OC. So shocker that he hates the OC. That the last two teams that he was the OC for, the star wide receiver literally begged for the team to fire him. Who would have thought that was going to be an issue? I don't know. Crazy.
Well, and T-Law throws hospital balls.
Yeah, he does.
God, I saw a couple of those throws. I was like, oh my gosh, he's about to die.
I think almost every NFL quarterback throws hospital balls.
Yeah, that's good.
Peyton Manning threw the best hospital balls of all time. If you ever watch those clips, he would just throw ball after ball directly in the middle, right in front of the safety. He was like, catch it. Speaking of the Colts, we have the Colts at the Rams. This is a high total game. We got Indiana Jones strapping it in versus the Stafford. What do we like here? I think you're firing up. I think it's all systems go for both sides. I don't think that we need to spend too much time on this because you want a piece of either of these teams. Alec Pierce is in concussion protocol, and that hit that he took against the turf was pretty nasty, so I don't expect him to be playing, which actually leads some benefit to Josh Downs and maybe MPJ actually being serviceable. So
Yep. Agreed.
And the Rams, yeah,
You
you
know.
have 3 guys you're playing.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bears and Raiders. We spoke a little bit about Mr. Trey Tucker, who is wide receiver 6 on the year, Matt. What a weird year so far it is with a wide receiver 6 Trey Tucker. They're playing the Chicago Bears at home. Listen, I am just going to go ahead and say this. Genty deserves so much better than the Raiders, and it's really sad. The Bears shocked the world last week, and I expect a complete regression to the mean.
I agree. I think Dallas's defense is just that bad.
Oh, it's terrible. Yeah.
The Raiders defense isn't that much better against the pass, but they are much better against the run than the Cowboys, statistically speaking. So I think that they can pack it in and then just hope against hope that Max Crosby gets home a couple times and knocks the paint off of Caleb's fingernails. I think Roman Dunes is the only person I'm feeling super happy about. And you're starting Genty because you probably drafted him really high. And Brock Bowers, obviously.
Yeah.
Jacoby?
Yeah, you can throw him in.
I think you could start. Yeah, you could start Jacoby, and if you really needed to roll out Trey Tucker, you could.
Okay.
The Bears secondary. Speaking of banged up secondaries, they're down. They're down to the 5th cornerback as well.
They're down bad.
Practice guy. Come on.
That's what most of the team is snapped with at this point in the secondary.
Who the hell is that guy?
That's the guys that you see and you're like, wait, we signed that dude? I remember him in college 5 years ago. Speaking of guys in college 5 years ago that somehow ended up on the field making big plays, the Chiefs play the Ravens, and they have a cornerback who has officially become a guy for them. So I can't lead this off. I will let you guys take this away because I didn't let you guys talk about your team. So you guys have at it. Who's taking it?
All right. So on the Ravens side, what the hell's going on? Why is Mark Andrews here and then there and then here and then there and then here and then there and then gone? And then, whatever.
And Isaiah Likely's back this week too.
And Isaiah Likely's back this week. I don't really have a much to say about them as far as the Zay Flowers kind of laid an egg against the Lions. Derrick Henry seems to fumble the ball a lot now. The Chiefs defense is a good defense. I think this is actually going to be a pretty dang good game. You know you're going to start Lamar and Derrick Henry and all those guys. You're starting all those guys. On the Chiefs side, with hopefully Worthy is back this week. I haven't really heard much about him. I'm sure he's still probably day to day, but he was practicing last week. So hopefully Worthy's back this week. Tyquan Thornton kind of turned into a trusted target of Mahomes. He likes to throw the ball deep to him, and he has been serviceable. He's a guy that I wouldn't mind if I had to rolling him out in a flex play for me. Mahomes is doing everything he possibly can to keep this Chiefs team competitive, right? Travis Kelce, where are you? Like, are you washed? Are you not washed? Why are you dropping balls? Why are you blaming other people? Why are you yelling at your coach on the sideline? Like, come on, dude. Mahomes is doing everything he possibly can to keep this offense going.
Okay, let me say, Andy Reid made contact first.
Yeah.
It was a charge. It was a charge on Andy Reid. It was not Travis. Travis did come over and chirp, and Andy Reid was like, "What? You got something to say, bitch?" Say it to my face.
I think
which was pretty great. Like, what a good response.
They have that relationship, though.
Oh yeah, and that's that's the reason you respect both their relationship and the player and the coach individually as well. But yeah, Travis can't be putting up on 7 targets, 4 catches for 26 yards. That's pretty unacceptable for a guy who wants to be a Hall of Famer.
It's hard to think that one of these two teams is going to be 1-3 after this weekend.
Yeah, well, when you stack the schedule one way, it tends to look one way.
And as far as the running backs go, I think Kareem Hunt's the only guy that you can feel comfortable playing. I'm like I said at the beginning of the show, I'm done with Pacheco right now. Yeah.
Touchdown and bust with Hunt.
Fun fact, Isaiah Pacheco's longest run of his career came against, you guessed it, the Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. He's got to be on the field more than 2 downs to be able to get that.
51% of snaps. Jason, do you have anything else you want to apply to this? Okay. Let me just say Tyquan Thornton is, he's surprisingly good. He runs really, really fast, and he's also pretty tall. Who would have thought that pairing that up with Patrick Mahomes would be a good idea? Probably everyone who's ever played Madden. So yeah, that's kind of a dream scenario for me. Once they get Worthy back, once they get the guys back, I'm not too worried about the situation going on. They do need to address the running back room, and they need to figure out how to get pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
So,
should be a good game.
It will be a really good game. Also, total of 48.5, one of the higher totals of the week. So should be high scoring. Fire everybody up.
Lamar was just sacked 7 times, so y'all have a shot.
Yeah, except for, I will say, Matabuke is back. They rested him and Kyle Van Noy, which is super weird that it was probably like close. They probably could have played last week, and then they didn't play, and then they lost in a pretty ugly way. But Matabuke is a game wrecker for them. So I'm a little worried about that coming up the middle. Anyways, we have Sunday Night Football with the return of Micah Parsons to Dallas. Matt, are we betting Micah to get 1 sack, 2 sacks, or 3 sacks? And CeeDee Lamb is like, I don't want to be a part of this game. I'm just going to set this one out.
Yeah, I'm betting over. The over on sacks.
Okay. I wonder what the line is.
Whatever the line is.
Probably 1.5.
If it's 1.5, I'm betting the over.
I'll think about it.
Yeah.
You're firing up everybody for Green Bay.
Yeah, you have to. The wide receiver room, I'm still a little like, Dontavian Wicks, I think, is a great play this week. Matthew Golden, I think, is a flex. Romeo Dobbs is just kind of always like, you can flex all those guys because you just don't know who's going to go to. Tucker Kraft was banged up last week, but I think he should be good to go this week. So I would fire him up. I'm not shying away from Jordan Love either. I know he had kind of a stinker last week against the Browns, but again, that's really good defense playing potentially the worst defense in the NFL. So Packers, I'm not afraid of anybody playing this week for the Packers. The Cowboys side, they're going to be throwing the ball. I would not play Dak this week, but he's going to be throwing the ball a crap ton to Pickens. I have a feeling.
Yeah, he's going to have 50. He's going to have 50 attempts.
Oh, I'm playing Dak this week.
20 of them are going to George Pickens.
Yeah.
And then 10 of them are going to Jake Ferguson.
Yeah, that's what I was just getting.
Maybe it's 15-15. It's probably 15-15, and then 20 are going to go elsewhere. Maybe.
But if
Javonte.
Yeah.
And please save me, Javonte.
I don't know that I really want to play a running back from Dallas, but if you have to, then yeah, you can.
I feel pretty confident just with the sheer volume that Javonte is going to see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And if they get to near the end zone, the chance that he gets the final touch is pretty high. Although they have been subbing in Miles Sanders, which is really annoying to see
it's super annoying.
As a Javonte owner, you're like, really?
Yeah.
Javonte is not your sledgehammer? Miles, old-ass, decrepit Miles Sanders is your sledgehammer.
Well, and Quinshon Judkins just had a week against the Packers.
Yeah.
Run game too. So
they can be run on. They can be run on. The loss of Kenny Clark is pretty big for the interior as far as run defense goes. I think that was when they did that. I was like, I don't love that. Giving up the run defense was one of their strongest suits because you can't run against Kenny Clark.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Javonte would be a fine play.
But yeah, I agree with you guys. You kind of just start the pieces you have, and Jake Ferguson and George Pickens are probably going to eat. Yeah. Speaking of eating, the Jets and the Dolphins.
Gross.
Can we just eat crow on this game? Why? I will say I'm glad that they actually double stacked this one. Last week it was the split where you had 2 weeks ago it was the split where you had a huge gap between the games. You had like a 30-minute gap between two games.
Mm-hmm.
This one it's actually stacked. So one kicks off at 6:15, one kicks off at 7:15, and thank God. Because I have zero desire to watch the Jets and Dolphins.
No. Are you starting, if Justin Fields is back this week, are you starting him against the Dolphins?
You could. I know. I'm not afraid to. I think Garrett Wilson and Fields, and I'm a little worried about Breece Hall. Please trade him to the Chiefs. I think the Dolphins are kind of a lost ship right now, and they're just hoping somebody calls them back from sea.
Yeah.
Agreed.
But you could start.
I mean, you're going to,
You're
you'll
going to start
probably
the people you have to.
Yeah, you're going to start the people you have to.
The other game of the Monday night slate is the Bengals and the Broncos in Denver at Mile High. Jake Browning versus Bo Nix, the battle of the bottom 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. Who do we like? Is this a Colton Sutton breakout? Is this a Bo Nix breakout game?
I agree. Yeah, I think so.
It has to be. I mean,
that's my thought. Like,
if
he's ever gonna right the ship for this season, it's got to be here.
It's got to be.
If you guys watch the betting episode, you know that I think that J.K. Dobbins is getting maybe 1, maybe 2 touchdowns. There's probably going to be some value on 2 touchdowns for J.K. Dobbins against the Bengals because they quite literally can't stop anybody from just walking into the end zone. Can I say my inflammatory statement of the week here at the end?
Sure.
Trade Chase Brown. Trade him. If you have him in fantasy, someone probably still loves him. Trade him. He's not. He is the most inefficient running back in football.
I actually agree with that 100%.
He only pairs well with Burrow on the field.
Yeah, and even then, he's not amazing with Burrow on the field. It's just Burrow can just do enough that makes him okay.
Exactly.
But like he's not breaking records with Burrow back there either. So it's just it's.
Are you starting T. Higgins this week? I mean, I know you're going to start Chase because you drafted him 101, and he's going to see probably a bunch of targets, but it's still scary. But what about T. Higgins on the other side?
I'm not. If I have any other person I trust, I'm not starting T. Higgins.
I agree.
I'd rather get burned. I'm okay with getting burned by Higgins this week.
Yeah, having him be on the bench, especially against the Broncos, who that defensive line is going to absolutely destroy the Bengals front. Nick Bonito, we were talking about 1.5 sacks. Nick Bonito may have 3 sacks this game because the Bengals it's a floodgate, man. So
I will pray for Jake Browning.
I am. I'm legit. I'm concerned for his health because it is. I don't know how you can get the ball off quick enough to not get absolutely planted. And who's their backup to Jake Browning?
Ripien.
Is it Brett? Is it Brett Ripien? No way. Is it Brett Ripien?
I think that's who I think that's who I heard they got.
Hold on. Is it Brett Ripien? It is Brett Ripien. That's amazing.
Let him start, dude. Let him fire the ball to Chase, dude. Jamar.
That's pretty great. Maybe they should just throw Brett Ripien out just to start the game. Just be like, hey, we're gonna save Jake.
They might have to if Jake gets hit 4 or 5 times to begin. He's gonna be out.
PC and the Tweety Birds. All right, I think that wraps it up for us. Is there any other players you want to give a shining star to this week, Matt?
I don't think so. I think some deep leagues. You could, if they're on their waiver wire, I think some players that you go and stash see what happens is Luther Burden. Parker Washington has been getting a ton of targets in Jacksonville.
I'm sad it took him 2 years to develop because I drafted him in some dynasty leagues a couple of years ago, and he's a late bloomer. We'll call it that.
Right. And now's the time to go out, and if they're on their waiver wire, go out and get some of those handcuff players like a Blake Corum, like a
Kendre Miller.
Kendre Miller, yeah. Right now would be the good time to go and do that if they are available.
Jason, you got any other ones? You want want to call your shot here? I'm giving you a platform to do so.
No, I was just gonna say spend your fab this week. It's a good week to spend some money.
It is a good week to spend some money and also to make some money. If you guys haven't checked out our fantasy 6-pack betting episode, go ahead and do that. Again, we are the Parlay Fantasy Football Podcast, and we are partnered with Fantasy 6-pack. Go ahead and check out fantasy6pack.net for the best rankings in football. Use code Parlay FF to get 15% off. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I am Shane. That is Matt and Jason. And till next time, we love you to the moon and back, as my esteemed host likes to stay.